The man awakened from the cryogenic pod to find the entire spacecraft violently shaking. Massive asteroid clusters tore through the hull like demonic claws, producing deafening sounds of metal fracturing. In the next second, the escape pod was ejected into the vast emptiness of space. Andy desperately tried to stabilize the capsule, only to discover he was about to crash into an alien planet. The impact knocked him completely unconscious. When Andy awoke, he found himself trapped in an otherworld filled with unknown dangers. This planet had extremely low oxygen levels, and its surface was prowled by terrifying creatures unlike anything he had ever seen. At that moment, a distress signal came through the radio. It was the voice of his crewmate Naomi. She was trapped in an escape pod several kilometers away, with severe hull damage that made movement impossible. Andy chose to rescue his companion. On the journey to Naomi's location, the environment grew increasingly hostile. The sky rapidly darkened, and through her scans, Naomi detected unknown creatures tracking Andy ahead. Suddenly, a flare shot up into the sky, illuminating the silhouette of a massive monster ahead. Andy screamed in terror, dropped his weapon, and fled desperately backward, but the creature gave chase and with one strike sent him tumbling into a ground fissure. Andy ran frantically, only to discover hundreds of crashed hibernation pods scattered around, with alien monsters methodically searching for survivors. The flare had been the final distress signal fired by their companion Dwayne. While Andy hid behind a hibernation pod, he heard Dwayne's heart-wrenching cries for help. He wanted to rescue him, but knew the odds were impossibly stacked against them, and could only watch helplessly as the monster tore into Dwayne. At that moment, the system accidentally activated lighting mode, alerting nearby monsters. Fortunately, Naomi used her access privileges to activate the alarm system just in time, diverting the monster's attention. Andy seized the chance to escape, but was spotted by two other creatures. In his extreme panic, he stumbled and fell, thinking he was doomed, but the monster suddenly stopped. It turned out this area was also inhabited by terrifying worms. The massive creature swallowed Andy and dragged him underground, continuously crushing his body. In the critical moment as his consciousness faded, Andy activated his pacemaker, and the powerful electrical surge forced the worm to release him. After this series of harrowing encounters, Andy's oxygen was down to 5%. He passed through caverns filled with glowing flying insects and located Naomi's escape pod just as his oxygen was about to run out. Naomi quickly replenished his oxygen supply, and the two successfully reunited. But the danger was far from over. Numerous monsters appeared on the hillside, forcing the pair to continue their flight. They hid in a supply bay within the crashed ship's debris field, only to discover giant eggs hatching in the control room. The newly born monsters immediately attacked them, driving them into the storage area. In the maze formed by storage containers, Andy discovered hibernation pods mounted on the walls. He climbed into one and waited for the right moment. When Naomi was being chased by a monster nearby, he activated the ejection mechanism, sending the heavy hibernation pod sliding down from above to crush the creature into pulp. Finally, the two took refuge in a well-stocked cargo hold, waiting for rescue that would arrive in 2 years and 2 months.